Welcome to the I Can Do Anything podcast. My name is Colin. Today I am talking preseason NBA action. Holy shit, the NBA season's here, ladies and gentlemen. The NBA season starts next Tuesday, and I couldn't be more excited. Holy fuck. It's crazy that it's here. There's a bunch of preseason action from last night. I'm on the NBA website. New Clipper Kawhi Leonard drills back-to-back buckets in a Clippers win. Porzingis comes out firing in first action with the Mavs. It's going to be really exciting to see Luka and Porzingis play together this season. Derrick Rose scores 18 off the bench in a Pistons victory. Butler sinks his first preseason shot with the Heat. I'm excited to watch RJ Barrett play for the Knicks. Although the Knicks are going to suck, it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact RJ Barrett can have on the Knicks in his rookie season. I don't think it'll really be too much of an impact just because the Knicks are still, I don't know. Who knows what's going on with the Knicks? Are the Knicks in tank mode anymore? I mean, they were tanking to get Zion, and I don't know that RJ, I don't know. There's certainly people out there that probably think that RJ Barrett may have more of a ceiling than Zion. I'm not necessarily in that camp. I wasn't all that impressed with RJ Barrett. I thought in some of the games, especially down the stretch in his 1 year at Duke, he kind of hogged the ball a lot. He kind of forced up a lot of shots that ended up losing in games that they ended up losing. So I don't know. RJ Barrett's going to be a good NBA player. I don't think he'll have nearly the kind of career that Zion will. But it'll certainly be interesting to watch RJ Barrett try to figure himself out in a dysfunctional organization like the Knicks in his rookie year. I saw a little bit, not last night, I watched some highlights from the Nuggets and Clippers from 2 nights ago, Thursday night. The Nuggets are going to be an exciting team to watch. Gary Harris played pretty well in that game. At least from the clips that I saw, Gary Harris played well. A new era in Oklahoma City featuring Steven Adams and Chris Paul and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You know, Oklahoma City doesn't look terrible. After an eventful summer, the Thunder are set for a major rebuild, but don't be surprised if they compete this season. OKC's projected depth chart features, so they add Chris Paul and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Roberson, Gallinari, and then Steven Adams is still there. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting season for the Thunder. It'll be interesting to see how Chris Paul fits in. The Clippers roster, after losing Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they're obviously better. But everybody kind of talked about how they had like a really good base and a really good, just a really good core and a really great bench. But they lost some of those guys off the bench. But they gained Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. I think the Clippers are certainly fine losing who they lost and gaining who they gained. But it'll be interesting to see how long Paul George is out with his current injury. I think everybody talks about the Clippers' depth. I really feel like the Lakers' depth is better than the Clippers' depth. Everybody's talking about how great the Clippers' defense is going to be, and certainly it's going to be a really great defense. There's no doubt about that. The Clippers' defense is going to be, if not the best in the league, absolutely amongst the best in the league. I'm going to pull up the rosters for both teams and kind of go through defensively what those teams will look like. So the Lakers roster, the Lakers actually have Antetokounmpo's brother. I didn't know that. I thought he was playing for the Bucks. I'm not sure what happened with his contract, but they have Kostas Antetokounmpo, who's, who knows what he's going to be like in the NBA. But certainly if he's anything like his brother, he could develop into being, a really helpful piece. Probably not this year for the Lakers, but maybe over the next 3 to 5 years. So Avery Bradley, a great perimeter defender. I don't know really anything about Devontae Kokuk. Devontae Kokuk, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, a great perimeter shooter, a capable defender, Alex Caruso. It's kind of yet to be seen what he's going to do. It seems like he had a pretty transformational offseason, this past offseason. He could be a pretty good perimeter defender for them. Quinn Cook is going to be a good bench scorer. DeMarcus Cousins is out. Troy Daniels is going to be a great perimeter shooter. Anthony Davis, a great rim protector, defensive player of the year. Former defensive player of the year, I believe. I don't even know for sure whether or not Anthony Davis has ever won defensive player of the year, but I'm pretty damn sure he has. Anthony Davis is going to be their best. Well, I don't know. They've also got Dwight Howard, who's a former Defensive Player of the Year. JaVale McGee, a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. A great rim. They're going to have incredible rim protection. Between those three bigs, their rim protection is going to be second to none. It's probably going to be the best in the league. Now, it's yet to be seen how long the timetable is for DeMarcus Cousins' injury. I don't anticipate him playing this year, but man, with those four guys on your roster, DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, even LeBron James you could throw in there as a perimeter defender. There's been a lot said about LeBron James's contribution defensively over last year specifically, but even going back 2 years to his last year in Cleveland. He's been pretty heavily criticized for his defensive effort, but over the course of his career, LeBron James has been, an all-defensive candidate a number of his this is his 17th year in the league, so his past 16 years. But those four, with DeMarcus Cousins out, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, and JaVale McGee are going to be incredible rim protectors. Danny Green is a great perimeter defender. Jared Dudley isn't all that mobile defensively. He's a little slower than maybe you'd like him to be, but he's a great veteran who's a really savvy defender. Talen Horton-Tucker, I know nothing about. Zach Norvell Jr., I know nothing about. Kyle Kuzma has certainly been criticized over his 2 years in the league defensively, and is out right now with I believe it's a lower extremity. I'm not sure if it's a knee or an ankle or a foot injury or what it is. I know it's something in the leg, something on his lower half of his body that he's injured, which certainly doesn't help him defensively. He could certainly improve defensively. Rajon Rondo is a great perimeter defender as he's getting older in the league. Maybe not as great of a defender, but is certainly a pest on the ball and a great steal artist defensively. So I'm gonna just go through who their top 10 will be. So Avery Bradley, a lot of these guys won't play, but I'm going to go through the guys that will play and are going to be top contributors to try to kind of relate their depth to the Clippers' depth. So Avery Bradley, Caldwell Pope, Alex Caruso will play, Quinn Cook will play, Troy Daniels will play. That's 5. Not their starting 5, obviously. Anthony Davis, 6. Jared Dudley, 7. Danny Green, 8. Dwight Howard, 9. LeBron James, 10. Kyle Kuzma, 11. JaVale McGee, 12. And Rajon Rondo, 13. Right now, the Lakers can and will play 13 players. Even if they don't play 13, let's say Alex Caruso doesn't play very much. Let's say Quinn Cook doesn't play very much. And let's say Troy Daniels maybe doesn't play very much. You could even say maybe Dwight Howard doesn't play all that much, but still plays some supporting minutes. They're going to go 10 for sure, potentially 9, and maybe even 13 deep for the entire season. As the playoffs come around, it'll more than likely be, as these guys' seasons kind of develop, maybe Troy Daniels shoots the ball really well and develops more of a role, and Alex Caruso sort of falls out of his role, and Quinn Cook maybe falls out of a role. Even Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, if Troy Daniels plays well as their perimeter shooter, could sort of take some minutes from Caldwell-Pope. But they're going to go 9 to 10, potentially 13 deep. But like I said, as the playoffs come around, probably closer to 10 to 9, maybe even 8. Then as we go over to the Clippers roster, you've got Patrick Beverley, who's a great perimeter defender. Wait, I want to go back and sort of let me go back to the Lakers. So I said 9, 10, potentially 13 that will play. But in terms of being great defenders, you've got Avery Bradley 1, Anthony Davis 2. I'll throw Jared Dudley in there 3, Danny Green 4, Dwight Howard 5. I'm putting LeBron James in there 6, and JaVale McGee 7, and then you could add Rajon Rondo 8. So even if you got rid of LeBron, who's been criticized pretty heavily over the last 2 years for his defense, they go 7 guys that I would consider great defender or good defenders. Maybe you could take Jared Dudley off and make it 6 great defenders. So we'll say 6 to 8 defenders for the Lakers, notable defenders for the Lakers, 8 to 13 guys that are going to play and have pretty, I don't know about significant minutes, but guys that are going to play pretty contributing minutes for the Lakers. So then we go over to the Clippers. You've got Avery Bradley, a great perimeter defender, and a guy that's going to play significant minutes and be a starter for the Clippers. Amir Coffey, who I don't know anything about. Paul George is injured currently, but is considered one of the better defenders in the league. A great perimeter defender, can defend the rim when and if necessary. Dante Grantham, who I know nothing about, a 6'8", 215-pound, 24-year-old who is a rookie, I believe. Maybe? No. He's played 1 year in the NBA. I'm not sure if that's this year that he's about to be a rookie or if he played last year. Let's pull up his stats and see if he's got stats from last year. 2018, he played 3 games for Oklahoma City. So I know nothing about that guy. He's not going to really probably play all that much for them. JaMychal Green played some pretty good minutes in Portland. He'll be a pretty solid contributor for them. His minutes were in Portland last year. Let's see. In Portland, he averaged. Who am I thinking of that played for Portland? He played for the Clippers last year and Memphis from 2014 to 2018. Last year he played 24 games, a total of 470 minutes. That doesn't really give me much. Let me see his averages. Career stats, 22.2 minutes per game, 47.9% from the field, 8.4 points per game. So JaMychal Green's going to be a contributor. He probably won't have tons of minutes. I would probably lump him into their, he's not considered a outstanding or really a great defender by any means, but he's going to be a defender for them. I was thinking of Maurice Harkless, who was a solid contributor for Portland last year and is now a Clipper. He's a good defender. I don't know that I'd consider him a great defender. Montrezl Harrell could potentially be a starter this year after being a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year last year. He's a great defender, can defend the pick and roll, can protect the rim. Mufeandu Mufeandu Kabengele, definitely an African. I'm now curious where he's from in Africa. Played at Florida State, is 22 years old, a rookie. It doesn't say where he's from in Africa. Come on. But he's a rookie who probably won't, I don't know, could have some contribution. I don't see him probably playing all that much. Terry Larrier, don't know anything about. Kawhi Leonard, one of the best defenders in the league, similar to Paul George, great on the ball, great off the ball, great as a rim protector. The NBA Finals MVP from last year. He's going to be their best player. That's pretty obvious. Matthias Lasorte, know nothing about. Terrence Mann may contribute a little bit. I don't know too much about Terrence Mann. Rodney Magruder, I don't really know anything about. Jonathan Motley, I know almost nothing about, a 6'10 forward. James Palmer Jr., I know almost nothing about. Patrick Patterson is a capable perimeter shooter, like off the pick and pop. I wouldn't really call him a stretch four, but he's a 6'9", 230-pound forward who's capable of shooting threes. Is a pretty good defender, not necessarily the kind of mobile defender that Montrezl Harrell is on the pick and roll, not necessarily the rim protector as the Lakers or as any of the Lakers rim protectors. Jerome Robinson is a capable shooter for the most part. I don't really know too much about him. Landry Shamet's going to be a great shooter for them off the pick and roll, and is going to be I don't know about a significant scorer, but is going to certainly contribute as a scorer for them. And is going to be a significant three-point shooter. Derek Walton Jr. out of Michigan. He could play some pretty good backup point guard minutes. As they maybe will have Lou Williams, who's a great scorer off the bench for them, one of the best bench scorers that this league has ever seen. But Derek Walton Jr. may play the one during that second unit with Lou Williams maybe playing the two, but Lou Williams may do a considerable amount of ball handling, especially when it comes crunch time. I think their crunch time lineup will be Lou Williams at the one, Patrick Beverley at the one, Lou Williams at the two, Paul George 3, and then maybe Kawhi Leonard 4 and Montrezl Harrell 5. They could go really small in the crunch time. They could even go, that's probably going to be their crunch time lineup towards the end of the season. Or maybe throw Landry Shamet in there for some shooting. I don't know who you throw him in there instead of Montrezl Harrell, but then you're really small. Or maybe you go Lou Williams without Patrick Beverley, but you're going to need a defender, and Landry Shamet and Lou Williams really aren't defenders unless you have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard guarding, whoever the team's two best scorers are. But just in terms of, so let's go to the depth factor now for the Clippers. You've got Patrick Beverley, a solid contributor. I don't know anything about Amir Coffey, but he looked pretty good in a couple preseason games. For them, but I don't know, they're preseason games, so I'm not going to include him. So Patrick Beverley 1, Paul George 2 when he comes back from injury, which he will. I don't know when, but Jermichael Green, let's throw him in there. Mo Harkless, we'll throw him in there 4. Montrezl Harrell 5. Kawhi Leonard 6. I'm not putting Terrence Mann in there. I'm not putting Rodney Magruder in there. Jonathan Motley, no. The African dude, no. Terry Larrier, no. James Palmer Jr., no. We're still at 6. Patrick Patterson, you could throw in 7. Landry Shamet, 8. Jerome Robinson, maybe at the 9. Lou Williams, 10. Ivanka Zubac is going to play some good minutes for them, so we'll put him at 11. And then you could say Derek Walton Jr. 12. So I think they max out at 12, and I think the Lakers maxed out the Lakers probably are more realistically at about 9 or 10. And I think realistically, the Clippers are probably more likely at about 7 or 8. You go Patrick Beverley 1, Paul George 2, Mo Harkless 3, Montrezl Harrell 4, Kawhi Leonard 5, Patrick Patterson maybe 6, Landry Shamet 7, and then Lou Williams and Zubac 8 and 9. I don't know. I mean, you could throw. I think Rodney Magruder may play some minutes for them, but I don't think his minutes will be significant enough to consider him like a part of their depth. He's certainly going to be a part of their depth, but I don't think he's going to have he's not going to be a solid contributor for them, really. I don't know. So, yeah, I had the Lakers at, let's say, maybe 8 to 13. And the Clippers are 8 to 13 too, but I don't think their 8 to 13 is strong. I think that they maybe are more realistically at 7, where I think the Lakers are realistically at about 9 to 10. So as people talk about their depth, I think the Lakers' depth is better than the Clippers right now. I think the Lakers' chance at winning it all is better than the Clippers, and I think most people have the Clippers as favorites to win it all. Now, you could say that the Clippers' top two are better than the Lakers' top two. Maybe. The Lakers' top two are Anthony Davis and LeBron James, whereas the Clippers is Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. But right now, Paul George is out with an injury, and nobody really knows what the timetable is for him. Well, that's not true. I'm sure people do know, but I don't fucking know. You could say that LeBron James is, not really in the prime of his career anymore, but I think LeBron James is going to have an incredible season. So I think the Lakers' top two stars are better than the Clippers' top two stars. And I think they're more, the Clippers you could maybe plug in easier to various lineups. They play the same position pretty much, but that could be to their detriment, or maybe make them not as good as the Lakers, whereas the Lakers have basically a 6'8" point guard that can play 1 through 4 and a 7-foot freak of nature athlete who can shoot threes, dribble the ball, and post up in the paint, who essentially can play the 5, the 4, or the 3. But realistically, Anthony Davis can play 1 through 5. He may not be like a scoring wing or a scoring 2, but he can shoot threes. He can play off the dribble. He can play in the post, and he can handle the ball if he needs to. Like Anthony Davis was a point guard in high school, and then he grew like 10 inches and became a freak of nature, 7-foot, ridiculous athlete, and can play, realistically, Anthony Davis can play 1 through 5. So I think the Lakers stars are more versatile than the Clippers stars, and better, and the Lakers are deeper. So let's go defense for the Clippers then. Patrick Beverley, great defender. Paul George, great defender. Kawhi Leonard, great defender. Mo Harkless and JaMychal Green are sort of between the two of them. I wouldn't consider either of them great defenders, or I don't know if I'd even consider either of them good defenders, but they're both certainly capable defenders. So I'll give between the two of those guys, I'll give them each a half point. So Patrick Beverley 1, Paul George 2. Between JaMychal Green and Mo Harkless, I'll give them a 0.3. Montrezl Harrell 4, Kawhi Leonard 5. And that's really where it ends. Defensively, you could throw Rodney Magruder in there, maybe Patrick Patterson. Landry Shamet's not known for defense at all. Lou Williams is not known for defense. Zubats can protect the rim, so I'll give them Zubats as another rim protector, but they don't compare at all to the Lakers' 3 standout rim protectors. So Patrick Beverley 1, Paul George 2, JaMychal Green and Mo Harkless 3, Montrezl Harrell 4, Kawhi Leonard 5, and I'll give him Patrick Patterson 6 and Zubats 7. Which doesn't compare to the Lakers. What did I say for them? Did I say 8 for the Lakers? I don't even remember. Let's go back to the Lakers. So 7 for the Clippers, and you've got Avery Bradley 1, Anthony Davis 2, Jared Dudley 3, Danny Green 4, Dwight Howard 5, LeBron James 6, and JaVale McGee 7, Rajon Rondo 8. You could take out, they're very comparable. I think that you could certainly take out Jared Dudley and maybe even LeBron and make it 6. But for the Clippers at 7, you could probably take out, JaMychal Green, Mo Harkless, Ivica Zubac, Patrick Patterson. If you took out those 4, Zubats, Patterson, JaMychal Green, and Mo Harkless, who aren't any of them really great defenders. None of them are really really good defenders by any means. If you took out those 4, they're at really pretty much 4 good defenders. Montrezl Harrell, Kawhi Leonard, Patrick Beverley, and Paul George. I think the Lakers in every way are better than the Clippers. I think the Clippers lost a lot in depth. They lost pretty good shooting. they lost a really good backup point guard in what's his name, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's now with the Thunder. I think the Lakers in every way are better than the Clippers. Don't buy it. If you're here, I've certainly heard it, and if you're hearing it, don't buy it. The Clippers' depth defensively and overall is not better than the Lakers right now. It's just not. Let's go back to the NBA homepage now and look at some other headlines. Davis leaves game with sprained thumb. That's probably right now, actually. Anthony Davis sprains thumb against the Nets. Los Angeles Lakers center Anthony Davis sprained his thumb in the first quarter of Saturday's preseason game against the Brooklyn Nets in China, which is actually going on right now as I'm recording. The injury did not appear to be serious, but no immediate assessment of Davis's condition was available. He had his thumb lightly wrapped in the first quarter, just came back from the locker room with ice on it, and has a sprained right thumb and will not return. Looked to have tweaked it, going up to block a shot at the rim early in the fourth quarter. That's from Lakers reporter Mike Trudell on Twitter. So, I don't know. I guess that's a little bit scary as a Lakers fan, but I don't think will be a concern. Certainly not down the road in the playoffs, but probably not for the entire season, really. Zion Williamson had 26 points in a preseason game last night, in a win for the Pelicans over the Jazz. What was the score there? 128-127. Zion had 26 points on 75% shooting from the field, 9 of 12 from the field, 7 of 9 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, plus 13 and plus minus, no steals and no blocks. So he was a great contributor for them offensively as a scorer. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 22 points off the bench for them, shot 7 of 9, 77.8% from the field, 4 of 5 from three-point range. Zion made one three-pointer as well. I don't know who Nickeil Alexander-Walker is. 21 years old, out of Virginia Tech, is a rookie. Okay, well, if he can be a kind of unexpected contributor for them as a scorer, maybe the Pelicans are going to be like a lot better than people thought they were going to be. Holy shit. Lonzo Ball had 15 points, 4 of 10, 40% shooting from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 assists. Brandon Ingram, 18 points. It's good to see that Brandon Ingram is back and recovered from that shoulder. What was it, like a blood clot in his shoulder? Had 18 points, 46% shooting from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, 3 assists, 1 steal, 4 turnovers. Frank Jackson had 14 off the bench, 60% shooting from the field. Utah, it looks like Mike Conley played, Utah's pretty much all their starters played about the same amount of minutes that they'll play. These guys all played pretty much regular season minutes. Mike Conley played 23 minutes, Donovan Mitchell 26 minutes, Bogdanovich 24 minutes. Royce O'Neal started at the small forward, which is a little bit odd to me. He played 22 minutes. I think as the season progresses, Joe Ingles will go back to his starting role. He played 24 minutes, though. I think that his minutes will probably go up and Royce O'Neal's will go down. I think more than likely Joe Ingles will probably average more closer to like 27 to 30 minutes a game, whereas Royce O'Neal will probably average somewhere closer to 15 to 18 minutes per game. Jeff Green had 20 points off the bench, played 22 minutes. He's going to be a pretty good contributor for him. Jeff Green has bounced around so much, but that guy's good. Like he's not really... he's not really great at any one thing, but he's a solid defender on the perimeter. He can defend the rim. He's a scorer in multiple facets. He's capable of making threes. He was 2 of 3, 66% from 3 in this game, but isn't a great 3-point shooter. He can shoot he can shoot from the mid range. He can score around the basket. Was 8 of 9 from the field, 88% with 20 points in this game. Jeff Green could be a really, really solid contributor to a championship team. If the Cavs would have won that championship, where they went to the finals 2 years ago in LeBron's last season, he would have been a great contributor on a championship team, and was on a championship level team, a team that competed for the championship. So Jeff Green's going to be a really solid contributor for Utah this year. Like I said, Joe Ingles will more than likely start in the place of Royce O'Neal. I'm not sure why Royce O'Neal started this game. Maybe Joe Ingles was out with an injury, but it doesn't seem like it because he played more minutes than Royce O'Neal did. Ed Davis played 14 minutes. A couple other, they had like a lot of their guys towards the end of the bench playing like 7, 8, 8, 8, 9, 5, 10 minutes. A lot of those guys won't play that many minutes. I'm assuming that was maybe towards the middle of, it was a close game, so I don't know. I don't know whether or not they had those guys in at the end and weren't really worried about winning the game and didn't have like Conley and Mitchell and Gobert in the game. I think Gobert, who played 24 minutes, Donovan Mitchell, who played 26, and Mike Conley, their minutes per game is going to be a lot higher than that. Those guys will more than likely play more like 28 to 32-ish minutes per game, maybe closer to 28 to 30. But yeah, the Jazz, who are expected by a lot of people, myself included, to have a really great year, lose a close one to the Pelicans. I'm not sure, again, whether or not they had those guys in towards the end of the game and were even concerned about winning. But don't sleep on the Pelicans. The Pelicans are going to be good right away. They've got some, Brandon Ingram, who's in, I think, his 4th year. Alonzo Ball, his 3rd year. They've got guys that are going to be good for them as, young guys, but not necessarily rookies. And then they've got Zion and that other rookie who had 22 points. The Pelicans are going to be good this year, and they showed that they're capable of beating a contender in the Utah Jazz in the preseason, regardless. Giannis had 34 points and 11 rebounds last night against the Mavs in a 118-111 win. Again, this is just the preseason, but Giannis looks damn good. I would actually be a little bit concerned if I were a Bucks fan that Giannis is playing. Oh, wow. Never mind. He had 34 points in 23 minutes. 13 of 20 shooting from the field, 65%. 3 of 4 from 3, 75% from 3 is really great for Antetokounmpo. 4 assists, 1 steal, no blocks, was +9. Chris Middleton had 7 points in 21 minutes. Pat Connaughton, 5 points in 21 minutes. Pat Connaughton's role is going to be increased for the Bucks after losing Malcolm Brogdon to the Pacers. Don't sleep on the Pacers this year either. The Pacers are going to be damn good. The Pacers are going to be really good in the East. In last episode I was talking about teams in the East that could potentially contend. The Pacers will contend in the East. The Pacers will win a playoff series in the East. The Bucks played a lot of guys last night. They played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait. Giannis Antetokounmpo played last night for the Bucks. He's not on the Lakers roster. I don't know. That was weird. I don't know why he showed up on the Lakers roster. I'm not sure whether or not maybe he was with the Lakers and then the Bucks took him away from the Lakers. I thought it was the other way around. I thought he signed with the Bucks and the Lakers took him. Let me go to teams again and see if he's on the Bucks roster. Maybe these rosters aren't totally up to date. Is there 3 Antetokounmpo brothers? Thanasis Antetokounmpo plays for the Bucks and is on their roster, and Kostas Antetokounmpo plays for the Lakers. Wow, there's 3 Antetokounmpo brothers. Holy shit! I thought there were 2. I thought it was kind of fascinating that there were 2. I had no idea that there were 3. Wow. Hey, You learn something new every day here on the I Can Do Anything podcast. But yeah, the Bucks played a lot of guys last night. Certainly Antetokounmpo, who only played 23 minutes. He'll play a lot more in the regular season. Frank Mason played 14 minutes. Other guys, Sterling Brown, Bender played 17 and 9. Ilyasova played 16. Kyle Korver 16. Those two will play about 16. That's probably going to be close to what they play throughout the season. But it seems like as the preseason, we're right about in the middle to the beginning of the preseason. Like I said, the NBA season starts in 10 days. Opening game. Today's the 12th. The opening night is the 22nd. So it seems like teams are sort of getting into mid-season form. Antetokounmpo with 34 points, certainly in mid-season form, only playing 23 minutes. I don't know what he averaged last season in terms of minutes. Career stats, he's averaged 32.7 minutes per throughout his career. Last season, he averaged, if he played 2,358 minutes in 72 games. Hey Siri, 2,358 divided by 72. So he played 32.75 last year as well, so the same as his career stats per game. He played 9 less minutes last game and had 34 points than he will. But that's what Antetokounmpo is really built for. He's built to score a lot of points efficiently, getting to the rim, shooting a great percentage from the field. He's certainly capable of scoring 34 in 23 minutes pretty much any time. I think that about wraps it up for the I Can Do Anything podcast today. A pretty great and a much longer episode than I anticipated. I'm going to have Dobb and Sloan Whitaker, two of my buddies from college, on the next episode next Sunday to talk about, to wrap up this upcoming week's preseason action, and then kind of look forward to opening night and the NBA season. I cannot believe the NBA season is here. Holy shit, that's exciting. Anyways, thanks for listening to the I Can Do Anything podcast, an ad-free edition this week. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope you're as excited about the NBA season as I am. Peace.